I felt great, just going out there, having a good offensive game, scoring 57 points. A lot of young guys got to play. So I think Coach Brown said something like 17, guys that never played before for us. So it was good coming out there, getting the big scores, and letting them get in the second half.
Coach Brown said in his press conference last week after the game, this is a different breed of cat you guys are going up against this week. What differences are you going to see out there from this Clemson defense?
They're definitely going to be a lot bigger and a lot more athletic. The number 2 rated team for a reason. They're really good. They stopped a good Auburn offensive team, so it's only 13 points. So we got our work cut out for us this week.
I guess how do you just try to take it game by game and not get overwhelmed with the fact that this is Clemson, this is the number 2 team in the nation?
You just gotta go out there and just play. It's just a game. It's 11 on 11. They got 11, we got 11. So we're just going out there. Just know big plays you got to make, every time, just routine plays, and you got to execute when you get the big shot. So that's what we're going to go into the week focusing on.
One of y'all's main strengths is tempo. Y'all, I think Coach Brown said y'all got 87 snaps, and he said y'all just want a little bit more faster tempo. How do you get faster against a team like Clemson?
Just got to pick up first downs. Once we pick up first downs, we'll get the ball moving a lot quicker. So we got to set tempo after our first down, and then, once they're not lined up, they're a lot easier to go against. So that's what we're going to try to do. So we're going to work a lot this week, probably on some tempo. So that's what we need to focus on, more tempo to get them, not lined up every play.
Being a quarterback, what do you see some of the challenges your defense might face against somebody like Deshaun Watson out there?
He's probably one of the best players, if not the best quarterback in the nation. So we got to score a lot of points. We're not expecting them to stop him every time. I don't think Auburn did a pretty good job this week, but they'll probably come out even better this week. So we got to score some points to help our defense out.
Came out in a hurry with one play, one score this week. How important is it to get off to another hot start this coming week?
Yeah, it is. It is important for us to get a hot start, maybe get an early lead. For that first drive, establish some run game, and then open up with some passes. So it's our O-line did a great job last week. So hopefully they come back again strong.
Last year, Coach Brown talked about facing off against Lafayette. That's what I want this team to be about next year. How did it feel like to have that, producing 700 yards and continuing over from Lafayette?
Yeah, Lafayette was our best game last year, or as a whole. Defense too. So it was great. I know a lot of people didn't give us credit because we've been going against our defense in the scrimmages, and they've been doing a pretty good job against us. But we knew, that front seven of our defense is pretty good. So we knew once we got through got playing through someone else, so we'd have a good game. We got a pretty good offense. So we just need this week to go out there and to show it.
You had 8 different players score touchdowns in that game. How important was that to get a lot of people involved in the process?
We got a lot of playmakers. We said that from the start. We're deep. All 3 of us quarterbacks scored touchdowns. Sorry threw one, and Caleb ran one in. So, Ishmael Salim scored his first touchdown, I believe. Hiram Velez scored his first touchdown. So that's 4 guys right there with their first touchdowns. So we're just deep, at every position. Even when as far as McCormick's is out, Flakes can play the slot position. So we're just deep in every spot.
Piggybacking off that, how does it make you feel to have that many playmakers?
Yeah, it feels good. I think this is the most deep we've been since I've been here. It's just good, once guy gets hurt, the next man up mentality. That's how it's been this whole, off season. Smooth was Emmanuel Thompson was out with a knee. John Johnson got hurt for a week. Ishmael was hurt for a week. So it's been the next man up mentality this whole off season.
You saw Clemson really wasn't on their A game against Auburn this past week. Sunbelt had a fantastic showing with some upsets. How much more confidence does that give y'all heading into this matchup?
I think we're just more confident of just how we played last week. Obviously 2 totally different teams, but we just we're going in with a lot of confidence. With a big game we had. And we're just going to take it one day at a time in preparation.
I know you've played in some big stadiums and everything before. Have you ever been a part of going in something more hostile environment that you're going to be taking on this Saturday?
I have not ever been to Death Valley, but I've heard everything about it. So, it's going to be a really hostile environment. So, we're up for it. We're up for the challenge, and we're ready for it.
It felt good. It's always starting off the first game of the year with a win, especially at home. I feel like we came out and everybody just did their part, did their job, and it was a good team win.
This offensive line was a question mark heading into the season. There was a lot of youth and everything. How do you think you guys performed in this first game?
I think the question mark is because we have a lot of guys that can come in and play. Now, J.L. Gaxton's one of those guys that came in and really had a good camp, and it showed it again on Saturday. I mean, he had a great game. A couple other guys, James Peach, Taylor Edwards, Tristan Crowder, all guys that, did a really good job Saturday. And they came in and competed good. I mean, we didn't slack off. There wasn't any kind of fall off when they came in. And we kept scoring, kept gaining yards, so it was a good game for all of us.
Against a different breed that's coming up Saturday against Clemson. How do you go up against guys, their size they're going to have on the defensive line?
I think Clemson's a team. They're a lot bigger guys, a lot of 300-pounders. They play physical. They got a couple guys a little bit more speed, around 260. And really, I mean, for preparing-wise, we don't do anything different. We come in, we worry about us before we have to worry about another team. And I feel like for us, going in, we'll be more going over on the O-line, like more bull rushes than, try to speed rush off the edge. And I really think that's how we're going to be prepared. So.
When you're there and there's 90,000 people and they're screaming and yelling, what's the method for getting the calls out when it's so loud?
When it gets loud, we use a lot more hand signals, and it helps us. I know, especially on the line, because Brandon's back there telling the receivers what to do, and he's going to have to come up and tell us what we do. And he'll have to come closer to us to tell us to play, and we'll hand signal it down the line so we know better what's going on.
How important is it for you guys to get that solid push off the start to establish the run game early on?
I think it's going to be huge, especially this week going against a bigger opponent. And I think if we can establish that run early, it gives us something to go back to, especially when we get down to closer second and short, third and short situations. We can rely back on that run game to get us that first down.
How do you keep the mentality out of your head that this is Clemson, this is the number 2 team in the nation? How do you keep that out and just say this is just another team? There are 11 guys just like us.
Because they get dressed the same way, they practice the same way, and at the end of it all, I mean, there's 2 teams that play on Saturday at each field. That when you play at home, obviously not each field, but I think for us, it's just the next one on the list. And we got 11 more games after this Saturday, and I promise you, we're going to play every single one of them just as hard. And I don't think preparation-wise, it'll be any different. Clemson, it's more of a blessing to go play at a place that's got 90,000 fans in it, obviously, and it's going to be a lot more exciting. And it's going to be fun, so we look forward to it.
How special was it on the first snap to look up and see Jordan running free now?
Man, that was great. Coming off his injury last year and his first play back, just seeing him break it. I mean, it was like he never got hurt.
I'm thinking more of the hole you guys had in front of him.
Well, I tell you what, if there's a big hole or a small hole, he'll find it, and he's going to hit it, as hard every time. And he's a guy that, man, he really. When he scores, he comes and thanks us, and that's a big deal for us because, I mean, he's that guy that, it gets 4th and short and you're going to want the ball in his hands every time, and he's that guy he's going to get that first down, and he's been a blessing coming back and practicing the way he has. I mean, he's just worked hard this whole off season. It was a big deal. I mean, I turn around, he's already in the end zone, so it was a good deal for me, especially to see that. So. I think so. I know, especially I could probably talk a little more for the guys on the O-line, especially. That's my position group. But when you go into a team and they're always asking you questions about their D-line and how big they are, well, that just makes you think, all right, well, let me show you what we can show. Let me show you what we can do. And I think guys like Tony Garcia and Xavier Fields and Deontay Crumedy are going to have great games. Rousey, he had a really good game this week, and I think that's just going to carry over to this next week. So we look really forward to it.
Do you guys have more confidence heading into this game, the way you showed out on Saturday and the way Clemson kind of struggled a little bit that first week?
I think we have more confidence strictly because of how we left last season and going into the off season. And I feel like we've just constantly built on that all through spring, all through summer, all through this fall camp. I mean, this Saturday, we were expected to do that. You know, that's what we came into the game expecting to do. And now it's the next step. Now it's, okay, let's carry this another week and show what we can do again.
You have to keep him in the pocket. You have to keep him in the pocket. We got to rush. We got to rush our lanes. We can't allow him to have too much time back there as well, because he's not only is he mobile, he can also step up in the pocket and make some great passes. And he has some great receivers in number 7. Great receiver in number 7 out there as well.
Any extra for you going back home and playing there? Anything? Any insight there and what that might mean to you a little extra?
It is. I would be lying to you if I said it wasn't. My dad, my godfather, Steve Durham, he played on the national championship team in 1981 for Clemson. So it's a bunch of emotions. I'm like excited. I want to cry. You know, it's like I'm actually going. You know, I'm from the upstate as well, so I'm playing in front of my whole family, my entire city. So it is a lot.
How big of an opportunity is it to go against a player like Deshaun Watson, and not just like a player like him, but to go in there and assess your abilities against a player like that?
I really too much don't think about it, because I try not to think of the name. I just try to think of the game. I mean, we both play the same game. He's a great player. Not taking anything away from him or anything of that aspect, but I'm trying not to think too much on his. Just saying like he's a Heisman candidate, you know. So I'm just gonna play the game. I'm just ready to go against him, see how good he is.
Back to this past week's game, what changed with the defense between first and second half? Coach Brown talked about it, said it seemed like you guys were playing a little tight the first half. What adjustments did you guys make?
Urgency, a sense of urgency. We knew that the score shouldn't have been what it was. It's like Coach Vic told us the week before, the day of. It was like what happened with us when we played Charleston Southern. We put our foot down and then let up. So I guess we kind of eased into it, not really put our foot down. We just crawled into it, and then once we got hit in the mouth a little bit, we said, all right, that's enough, and we turned it on.
Sticking with Saturday's game, how did it feel to get the W in front of the home crowd?
Felt great. I mean, anytime you get a W in front of your biggest support, it feels great. We just didn't want our work to go in vain. We want to show everybody that all the stuff we've been doing, all the work we put in, you know, it's for them and it's for our university.